And welcome to part 3 of the Castlevania 3 Let's Play. Funny title there. Anyway, we're at the stream. That's the name of the music track. I don't know if that's the name of the level. But anyway, we start off with this Axe Knight here. Obviously, same thing applies. Holy Water, Lightning Spell, Quill. By now you should know how to deal with these Fleamen from Castlevania 1. Or if you don't, you know, they take like a couple small hops and then one big hop. So always get them on the small hops, because on the rebound their pairing gets like wildly unpredictable after that. We got some Ravens, the Axe, and the Thunder Spell are probably your best bet for those. And we also have some Mermen in the water. They'll occasionally pop out and shoot fireballs at you. Not too big of a threat, unless you're like really close to a bottomless pit. Then you might want to worry about some. Also, if you have the freeze spell, you can freeze this water and just walk over it, but honestly I find the freeze spell is Sypha's least useful spell, so I don't really bother with it. But whatever. This level's not too hard. I think it's actually easier than the previous one. I think the boss of this level is harder than the last one. Actually, I think the boss of this level is probably one of the harder ones in the whole game. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Take out the Axe Knight. Now you have another Fleaman to deal with. Take him out. Then just worry about the Bone Pillar here. You know, take your time. Be careful of that bottomless pit, because yes, that can screw you over. If you have Grant, I think you can climb over that and skip this whole section right here. The bat comes down immediately once you get in this part, so just keep moving and you won't deal with them. This bat just spawns in repeatedly until you get to like right around here. You can completely ignore this Bone Pillar if you want. I'm switching to Sypha so you can well, so I can kill him faster, but you want to be careful. You know, bottomless pit. Those are always nasty. And there's a Holy Water if you're Trevor, you know, Ice Book if you're Sypha. You want that. The ability to freeze enemies can, I guess, like if you're speed running, you want to just get through a level as quick as possible with no damage, would be really useful, but you know, I'm not speed running, so. Because I just like having the Thunder Spell for the massive amount of damage it does to boss fights. Also, I think this stream has one of my favorite tunes in the game. Not as good as Aquarius, though, but nothing as good as Aquarius. We won't be seeing Aquarius in this path, unfortunately, because that's on Alucards. So we'll see that when I do Alucard, which I imagine that'll be the second playthrough. Yeah, I'm probably going to save Grant for last because he's my least favorite character of the three. And we're almost at the end of the level, actually. But be careful, that bottomless pit can screw you. If you, like, miss the Raven, it is definitely possible to get knocked into the pit by it. Now, at this point, the floor starts collapsing, so you just want to keep moving. Watch out for the Merman. Get the cross if you want it. If you're Sypha, that's probably going to be well, it is the lightning spell, so you want to take advantage of that. And there's an axe in this part of the level, I believe. Yeah, right there. I don't need it. If you've got nothing else, you know, wouldn't be too bad. Now, this boss. It's very easy to get knocked into a bottomless pit by it. Now, obviously, I've got the lightning spell, so I can quickly take it out. But if you're not that lucky, you're just gonna have to, like, just take your shots when they're available. You may have to settle for, like, one hit per round. And it's gonna take a while to beat it. But, you know, better to take a while than to get killed constantly. It also reminds me of that boss in Zelda 2. Nah. Anyway, we're on to the next level. And we start off with now in Dracula's castle. And, well, I think Castlevania 4 did this better, the build-up to Dracula's castle. Especially, like, the atmosphere in level 5, like, right before you get there. That was really cool. But, I still think, you know, going across the countryside to get to Dracula's castle is still a pretty cool thing. It's just 4 to do. I can pretty much say that about everything in 4, is that it does it better. Anyway, I believe you have, yeah, we got 4 more levels left in the game. This one's not too hard. I guess it's sort of like the breather before you get to the next couple levels, which are definitely, like, level 9 is considered the hardest level in the game, or maybe block 7. That, you know, the one I'm talking about. We'll get to that when we deal with Alucard's path. Stopwatch if you want it. I don't. Moving on. This part is really annoying because it's easy to, because you know these flame are just gonna keep spawning in over and over and over again. Now only 3 at a time will be on screen, so you can at least take solace in that. I'm trying to like get a good vantage point to you know, have the lightning spell just take them out. And unfortunately I did, but that's not always going to happen. And I just like how the enemies disappear once they get to the door. I like the setting here too. It's very oddly serene for a Castlevania level. I guess like calm before the storm kind of thing. But I guess Dracula's just got good taste in decor. I mean, he is Dracula after all. Why wouldn't he? I like that purple sky with the blue background. Maybe it's just me being a pretentious twat, but I like how that looks in particular. Anyway, we got a bunch more axe armor knights. I actually think this is a little overkill in how many they're throwing at you. It's not as bad as level 5 in Castlevania 1, but still. Fortunately, we have other ways of dealing with them, so, you know, not too much. Don't get the dagger. And I was looking for if there was a meat wall. Apparently there isn't. So don't worry about that. Deal with this guy. Also, for whatever reason, most of the Axe Knights don't respawn, but he does. Like, you'll see, he respawns right there. I always find that odd, the weird inconsistency. And remember the section from the pirate ship level? Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with the same thing here. And I always find this jump a little trickier to make. Same rule applies, try to jump at the middle, and then at the end, and then one final leap towards the next platform. This jump coming up here is pretty much pixel perfect. I hate this jump. See, I barely made that. A pixel less and I would have screwed that up. Anyway, we got the red skeletons that have whips now. I don't know. No, Castlevania 1 didn't have these. Castlevania 4 has them. I think Rondo does too. I don't think Bloodlines did. I know Symphony. Symphony? I know it had the red skeletons. I didn't think they had whips. No, actually, now I can think of it, Symphony doesn't. Comparing the two, I actually prefer Symphony over 3. Because my favorite's 4, second favorite would be Bloodlines, and Symphony would be 3rd. Then I guess this game would be 4th, and Rondo 5th. Oh, well, no, actually, take that back. 5th would be, Portrait of Ruin. I prefer the classic games over the Metroidvanias, but I really did like Portrait of Ruin. Maybe not the character portrait so much, because those were kind of terrible. But the gameplay more than made up for it. So I was a happy camper in the end. Anyway, remember the 3-pronged boss I talked about in part 2? That's what we're dealing with right now. So, like before, we're gonna have to deal with the mummies. And right here, I'm invoking my old Castlevania 1 LP, which really isn't that old, but just, you know, dousing them in holy water. It would have been faster with the lightning spell, but, you know, I decided to change things up a bit. Part 2, same as before in the pirate ship, we got the, thing. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's just something Dracula made. You know, I wonder is Dracula seems to be more like a Satan figure in Castlevania than like, you know, an actual Dracula. I mean, he technically still is a vampire, but something to think about. And there he goes, down for the count. Now here comes the one boss that's actually new here. So honestly, if you want my opinion, I'd rather like save the mummy boss for the pirate ship. Yeah, that guy. I think from level 2. Save the mummy for the pirate ship and this guy for this level. I would have preferred that because it wouldn't have feel as drawn out as it does. Anyway, this guy is I think he's the archdemon or whatever. Holy water takes him out really fast. I think he actually deals more damage than most bosses normally do. So watch out for that. But he's like got a really predictable pattern. So you shouldn't have too much trouble with him at all. And it's the end of that level, but we've got enough time for one more level before the end of the part. Yay, we got Vampire Killer, or as this game calls it, Deja Vu. As far as I'm concerned, it's Vampire Killer. I think in the American version, these statues have slightly different graphic. Like, it was somewhat censored because it's like a naked lady. Even though it doesn't really look naked here, but nah. Anyway, this level, it's got a fairly difficult boss, but you know, the level really isn't so hard. A little tricky with the axe and knives, but you know we've faced several of these at this point. We already know what to do with them. If you're Alucard, you could just like fly through the bottom part right there and just skip this part entirely, which is nice. And then we got the spiders and the guys with the rapiers. I forget what their name is. I know they have a name somewhere. Why didn't that spider shoot up its mini spider? Huh. Oh well. And we have those enemies. The dreaded slimes from Castlevania 2. Yeah, you remember those things. Fortunately, the lightning spell will home in on them, making them a 9 threat if you have it. If you don't, well, just pray your cross or holy water can hit them. Because those things are getting really annoying if you just let them bounce around forever. I mean, you didn't have that option in Castlevania 2. You just pretty much had to pray they didn't, like, hit you a billion times before you finally killed them. More axe hammers and more slimes, but don't worry, we're pretty much stuff we've already faced at this point. I do like that they waited until the end of the game to reuse this main hall motif. Because you know in Castlevania 1 was like the first level. In Rondo it saves it for like I think the second level. So you know it feels kind of like same old territory. And Bloodlines do the same thing. So you know, in playing those games, it kind of feels like, you know, same old, we're just reusing it because tradition says so. But you know, it's like it's late in the game now, so a track like Vampire Killer really stands out as being a lot more catchy and energetic, which works for this point of the game, I think. Yeah, just my opinion. Anyway, you want to avoid getting a lot of these candles, because A, the floor behind you is falling, and that's instant death. And there's an enemy right here. You don't want to waste your time getting these candles and then having to deal with the enemy, which would knock you back and kill you. There's a couple sub-weapons in those candles. I don't know which one specifically. You can check out a level map if you really want to know. Now we have death. Unfortunately, we can't holy water him to death like we did in the first game. I like using the lightning spell because you can at least kill some of the mini skies he shoots at you. But you know, Sypha's lower defense is probably gonna come into play there if you don't kill him fast enough. And now we have part 2. He's a 2-part boss. His second part's actually a lot easier than the first. And this is one of the few bosses where Alucard's probably actually the best option because, well, okay, if you've never played this game with Alucard, he has this Balls of Destruction, which shoots 3 fireballs at once, but they're all pretty weak and barely deal any damage to enemies, but he is actually quite susceptible to them. So he works well in this fight. But you don't really